Okay, good morning. Today we're going to be looking at summer colour, and I know we're into June, and normally it's called Flaming June, but this year I don't mind. We've had plenty of rain, and to me the countryside and the gardens after the rain we've had actually look really superb. I was on my allotment last night, and everything in the last couple of days has really greened up, and it's made a change. The rain we had last week just tickled the surface. Whereas that heavy rain, at least it's gone right down into, 4 or 5 inches down, so it's done a lot of good. So in the next couple of weeks, if we do have some dry weather, I think the rain we've had now should keep us going. And it also help the lawns as well. Remember this time last year, the lawns were really green. Well, they're going from green to brown and looking really dry. So although it's a bit of a nuisance, this rain, I think it's, it's done the gardens a lot of good. And colour in the garden. Sometimes you find people have like a spring garden, so they have the early flowering azaleas, rhodos, ribes, things like that. And then when you get to early summer, the garden seems to close up for the rest of the year. Or it might be you've got a few gaps where you've had tubs of like tulips. And tulips, because the winter seemed to go on and on forever, have only just died back. So what I'm going to take you through, I've got a few plants together with 3 different types of garden in mind. So we've got an area, really the heat of the summer. I've got some plants that will do quite well in a semi-shaded spot with a little bit of sunshine. And the one we're going to start off first is where you've got nice sunny conditions, good soil and well-drained soil. And the first thing to think about, what sort of soil you've got. If it's acidic, think more the acid-loving plants. If it's lime, think about more the ceanothus, lilacs, things like that. The plants I've selected today will do both sets of different types of soil. Number 1, we've now got a nice blank canvas here, and the first thing you want to do is think about adding some height. We can do this with climbing plants against the wall, or we can do a mixture of different plants. This is actually a purple-leaved grapevine. It will produce small fruits in the autumn. The leaves are sort of nice purple colour, and in the autumn they're a really sort of vibrant golden colour. So it'll go right the way through now until the winter time. And what I tend to do is actually grow up through it one of these smaller flowering clematis. And I've selected one, sort of purpley foliage, goes quite well with the colour of the vitis. You might also want to think about roses, another option. These will flower right the way through. This one, really nice scent to it, a little bit of sunshine. Have a little think when you grow roses, if you can train the stems like that, horizontal, or even bend them down slightly, where you make the bends, you'll actually get more flowers all the way along the stems rather than the tips. You go to and the same happens with if you grow apple trees and pear trees. Some of the old gardens of France, what they've done is they've bent the branches down into a heart shape. By doing that, they've got fruit all the way along the stem, and you can do that very much the same way with roses. So try and train them down so they go horizontal or down slightly. You can either put trellis up or you can put wires up to train the plant against. So that could be another option for height. There again with roses. A good plant to grow up through them would be another clematis. Clematis, the one to choose would be the summer or later flowering type. Don't go for the Montana because they tend to take over and will hide the rest of the roses and things. Once you've decided what sort of plant you want to give you height, then we now start filling in the middle part of the garden. really good plants. And because this is a sort of purpley theme, I've gone for blues and sort of yellows. You could, if you want to, go for a more pinky coloured theme. And by doing a garden, what you want to do is play around with get your colours right. Think what sort of colours you like in your garden. If it's slightly darker, if you go for lighter coloured flowers, it shows the flowers to their best advantage. So things like if you went for these salvias and this penstemon. Penstemon is, there's some 250 different types of species that originate from America. So you think, oh, America, you think prairies, and then you can add like grasses to it. But I'm thinking, shall I go for pink theme, or shall I go for a more sort of yellowy blue theme? So I'm going to go for a more blue-yellow, and salvias. Salvias are a member of the mint family, and all the mint family, you look at the stems, they're a box-shaped rather than round. So if we have those together with a little bit of grass, grass is really nice. You've got like a golden colour. When the wind blows through, it's quite nice. Also adds to the display. If you have all colours, all the colours tend to get mixed together. So if you put a plain green or grass plant in the middle, it shows off to the plants their best advantage. Along the fronts, what we're trying to do is tall and then go down to low growing plants. So if we have things like geraniums, this one here, lovely coloured blue flowers right the way through the summertime. If you find they finish flowering, all you do is cut them hard back and then you get more flowers coming up. Very good for attracting bees and butterflies. As is this plant here, Verbena bonariensis. It's a plant that originates from South America and it comes from near Buenos Aires in Argentina, hence the name. There again, it's got nice strong growth, small flowers, not prone to aphids. The only thing it does get if it's very dry at the roots is mildew. That we would put towards the back of the display. We've also got here another plant coming from America, Rudbeckia, named after Rudbeck, who was a Swedish scientist who worked with Carl Linnaeus. And Carl Linnaeus was, he invented the binomial system. That's the naming system for all the plants. So it's got history to it. That will give you a little bit of height, so we might have that over in this corner here. Another plant to go with our purple theme that we might have on this corner is the Sambucus black lace. Has these little pink flowers in the summertime, but it's got this rather gorgeous coloured dark sort of foliage to it. Secret with this is it will grow in the plant about 3-4 metres in height. Springtime, cut it hard back to about 15-30 centimetres, 6 inches a foot above the ground, and then you get all this deep black foliage that comes out, and then you will have berries in the autumn. So it's quite attractive, goes quite well with the yellow flowers. Another plant is the campanulars. These self-seed quite happily in my garden, and I suppose I could classify them, now they've gone all over the place, I could classify them a bit of a weed. But they're good doing plants, no problems, and they grow really well. Another plant similar to Rudbeckia is Coreopsis. In the language of plants, Coreopsis means always to be cheerful. And you can see these little yellow flowers are really happy. They'll flower right through now until October, November time. So we could include that, and that variegated colour goes quite nicely with the dark purple. Remember, this will give you height at the back, and these will be lower growing plants. Some of the other Rudbeckias come in these orange colours. And I picked up this plant and I noticed the two flowers were sort of look as though they're stuck together. And that's actually called fasciation. It's where the cells have sort of doubled up and you've got the two flowers appearing. There again, we could add that to the display. I find this type of Rudbeckia aren't quite as hardy as that type. So they need a really well-drained soil in the winter time for them to go from one year to next. If you've got clay soil, they don't like the cold, wet clay in the winter time. You know, cold, wet feet, and I don't like cold, wet feet either, and these plants are similar. You might find in your garden it looks nice and colourful, but you've got just like a small area that you need to then sort of plant up to give you colour. And if you've got a small area, and what I do in my garden is a lot of my bulbs, because my garden's quite small, I grow tulips in containers that I then stand either buried into the ground or between the different plants. And for this sort of mixed display that likes similar conditions, I might grow for one of my favourite summer plants, and that's the dahlia. These will now flower until the frost in November time. They'll form a tuber that you can actually overwinter in a cool condition and then repot up again next year. Dahlias have been around since the 1600s when they were brought from South America. The Aztecs actually used them for food and medicine. And when they were originally brought across to this country, they were brought across for the tuber to be eaten as a food. Unfortunately, they're not that tasty, and well, I wouldn't fancy eating them. And so that idea got dropped in favour of eating potatoes. And over the next 300 years, to some extent, a lot of the Dutch growers then developed and produced all the different coloured flowers. And dahlias, they come in such a wide range of flowers, from single ones like this up to large flowers about the size of a dinner plate, all shapes, all colours apart from blue. The original name for dahlias for the Aztec meant water cane, because the original dahlias, they grew sort of 3-4 metres in height, and the stems were like a cane, and they actually used the cane as, to carry water pipes between the housing. This time of the year, as you can see in the garden centre here, we've got such a fantastic range of bedding plants. There's so many different colours, you don't really know where to start. So I've gone for a yellow theme here, so I'm going to keep with a yellowy theme and use some of these petunias. Petunias were discovered in South America in the 1700s onwards. There's actually 2 species, and in the Victorian days the salvias were tall, lanky, with very small flowers. So in the last sort of 160 years they've gone from just 2 plants up to the myriad different plants that you see today, in singles, doubles, all colours, all shapes. I've gone for like the blue, the yellow, and another plant, verbena. Planted those, and you can see I won't plant them up. But with all these plants, it gives quite a good display. And all these plants here will now give you real good colour right until we get into November. Possibly, if we have a mild autumn like we had last year, some of these will still be flowering when you get into December time. I had some dahlias in flower until about 2 weeks before Christmas last year, which, you know, it's really good going, isn't it? It's like 5 months. The secret with anything in tubs is about 4-5 weeks after you plant them up, give them a liquid feed every 7-10 days. And a really good feed to use, and I found, is one called Tomorite. Tomorite, high potash. Potash is what you want for flowers. It also contains seaweed extract, which gives the plants a really good boost to help the leaf growth. Okay, any questions on that first